Hello everyone, this is Solomon of Solomonic Demons, and today we're gonna be talking about Zemaitis guitars. What you guys have in the screen right now is my Zemaitis C22. This is a Les Paul copy, as you guys can see, a single cut guitar, and we're gonna be tuning this guitar in drop B, and at the same time we're gonna be talking about the history of Zemaitis guitars. This isn't gonna be a review of this guitar in specific. This, like I said, gonna be a history lesson. Now, I'm doing this because a couple of years ago I talked about Greco guitars, and in that video at the end I said that Greco is now part of the family of Zemaitis guitars because both companies are owned by the Kenda Chokai company of Japan. But the history of Zemaitis guitars is actually very different if we compare it with the Greco guitar brand. So, to learn a little bit more about the history of Zemaitis guitars, we gotta go back all the way to the 1950s. In England, London, a young guitar player, Tony Zemaitis, was unsatisfied with the available guitars from the times. By the time he was only 15 years old, and he began a 5-year apprenticeship as a cabinet maker in 1951. He repaired his first guitar in 1952 and built his first instrument, a classic guitar, in 1955. Tony started building guitars for his friends and selling them instruments at low prices. After completing his national service, Zemaitis improved his manufacturing methods. His instruments became popular among blues and folk musicians of London. Players like David Graham, Long John Baldry, and Spencer Davis, all who fell in love with the great sound and playability of Zemaitis guitars. During the 1960s, Zemaitis made the 12-string guitars for notable musicians including Ralph Mattel, Eric Clapton, and Jimi Hendrix. It was this the time when Tony Zemaitis started to manufacture electric guitar models, with some prototypes used by George Harrison. Other musicians that asked Zemaitis for guitars were Mark Bolan, Ron Wood, and Ronnie Lane. Always working to improve his designs, he hit on a major guitar innovation with the now famous Zemaitis metal front. The original idea was to shield the guitar and reduce the hum. The first was made for Tony McPhee of the band the Groundhogs, and the idea was successful in more ways than one. Not only did it reduce the noise, but the highly decorative, individually hand-engraved pieces became a signature piece of art, favored by the rock elite. Next, he introduced the Zemaitis pearl front, an exquisitely inlaid front with a mosaic of abalone that twinkled and changed the color in the light. This top-of-the-line guitars soon became another signature model. By the 1980s, his reputation for workmanship, styling, playability, and tonal quality had made Tony Zemaitis a living legend. He worked primarily by himself, producing just a handful of guitars every year. The majority of his customers were rich and famous, but he also remained true to his ideals, sometimes building guitars for enthusiastic amateurs, guitar players, and even sold student-grade models to those with lower budgets. No matter what grade of guitars he made, he always produced a great playing and sounding guitar. It was the combination of quality, craftsmanship, innovation, and determination that won the British guitar maker fans around the world. By the year 2000, Tony retired after 40 years of handcrafting fine guitars and having virtually created the boutique guitar. To carry on the tradition, when he retired, Greco began discussions with Tony about the best way to pass on his craft to the next generation and to continue the Zemaitis name and its reputation of quality and craftsmanship. With the support of Tony's wife and son, and Anthony Zemaitis Jr., Greco has been able to make the rebirth of Zemaitis guitar a reality. They are honored to bear the Zemaitis torch and to pass along the craft and spirit of Tony Zemaitis. Carefully studying Tony's original drawings, specifications, and guitars, Greco master, the craftsmen and luthiers are faithful, reproducing Zemaitis instruments with the same superior quality as those crafted by the man himself. In 2002, Tony Zemaitis died, and the company relocated to Japan. Zemaitis still produce a huge variety of guitars, and now that they are owned by the same company that owns Greco, the Kenda Chekai company, Zemaitis still offer numerous of different guitar models, from acoustic guitars to electric guitars, from very expensive guitars to very affordable guitars. These days that the company is owned by the Kenda Chukai company, in Japan, the company it is really famous, and the Kenda Chukai company had been done a really good work in their local market. Over the years, Kenda Chukai had been trying to introduce the brand of Zemaitis and Greco to the United States with a little bit of success, selling their products online directly from their website, where you can buy the majority of their models, all the way from the acoustics to the electrics, from very expensive guitars to very affordable lines. Now, a lot of the guitars that they made are made in Japan, but some of the models that they offer are also made in Korea. The guitar that you guys have on the screen right now is made in Japan because this is one of the first models of the C22 that were introduced in 2018. But when Zemaitis was producing this guitar back in 2014, 2015, they were making these guitars in Korea. Later on, by the 2020s, they start making them again in Korea. So for the most affordable models that they offer, especially these days, these guitars gonna be made mostly in Korea. That's for the electric guitars, because in the case of the acoustic guitars, their most expensive models are made in Japan and their most affordable models are made in China. So that was the story of Zemaitis guitars. Like I said, the brand is still running strong, especially in the eastern market of Japan, and they have been trying to gain a little bit of the market here in the West. So, like I said, I'm gonna be finishing tuning this guitar. I'm putting this guitar, like I said, in drop B because the scale length on this guitar is 25 inches. It's not like a regular Les Paul, like a regular single coil that is usually 24.75. So I'm taking advantage of that extra length that this guitar have on the scale and putting it in drop B to see how it sounds. Yeah, you guys hear maybe already how it sounds in the intro, and hopefully it sounds great. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. This was Solomon of Solomonic Demons. Thank you so much again. Take care. Bye.